Alright, so today we're going to be talking about posture because many teenagers, like not only in the UK but like globally, on a global scale, don't understand that posture is a lot more important than it is and plays like a much more vital role in everyday society and in their own lives because they don't focus on the more detailed aspects of life, such as your posture, because it's not something in the teenage mind that plays an important role. They're more thinking about, popularity or what they're doing tomorrow or next week, just things like that. So what I'm saying is that posture isn't something that crosses the teenage mind. But anyway, if you're watching this and you're a teen, it's going to be probably helpful, and obviously if you're older or maybe even younger. But the first thing people don't understand about posture is it can make you seem inferior or confident. And I think like the difference is if I was to do my YouTube videos and like slouch and put my head down like this, like it seems a little like as if you don't care and like you're not putting the effort into the conversation or the social engagement if you're there. And like your neck's forward, your shoulders are slouched, your back's like hunched. And you'd be willing to pay me a lot more attention if I was like sat straight and then my shoulders were back and then my head was straight as well, because I'm more engaged in the conversation and it's like looks slightly more sophisticated as well. And not only that, but you're covering more space as your shoulders are like pinned out as well and your back's up so you're taller. So you're appearing confident as well because you're clearing more space, even though like it's only a little bit. That's just primal. That's just how that works. So anyway, that's just one little benefit. But so that's the first benefit of having a good posture. So the first thing people believe when they have bad posture is that they've got an anterior pelvic tilt when they probably don't, because I myself thought that I had that for a while and then I realised no I don't. I'm just not standing. It's just me not in my day-to-day life not like using the correct posture, and then over time that forms like pain in your lower back, and then I thought I had like an actual lower back issue, but then I realised no I don't. It's because my posture's wrong. So what anterior pelvic tilt is when your lower back has a curve and your bum goes like out. So as you can see, it's like it's going like that. So that is called anterior pelvic tilt, and it's basically puts the spine in an uncomfortable position. And basically some people will have that and it can be serious, it can not be serious, and if you think you've got it you might not actually have it, because like I said, I thought that I had it and I didn't. So basically, yeah, what he's doing is just adding like a curve to your back, so it's just like curling out like that, and it's mainly when you're laying down that it hurts, because it's like putting stress on your back what doesn't really want to be there. And the best way to fix an anterior pelvic tilt, if you do or don't have it, or to even prevent it in that case, because no one wants to go through it, is just to strengthen your core, your glutes and your hamstrings, but most essentially your core, because that's what's mainly like in line with it. So things like a plank or a bug will probably be the best. So for those of you that don't know, a bug is just like, it's like a much easier version of a plank where you're just laying flat on your back and you can just do this. So it's like a 90-90 crunch, but like you don't go down, you just hold, well you down, you hold it. And a lot of people make the mistake of, they don't engage the lower back and they have a little hill. So it's like, they're not engaging the back and they're just laid down freely, and it's like, you can put your arm underneath pretty much. But if you engage your core, then it's a lot harder straight away. And if this is too easy and you can do this for 5, I set myself a goal of 5 minutes for each thing. If this is too easy, then you can straighten your legs and your arms, and that adds a lot of intensity to it. And that's just a beginner core exercise that you can do to strengthen your core if your core isn't strong enough for your body weight. But anyway, so that's how you can fix anterior pelvic tilt mainly by strengthening your core, and for your glutes, you know, you can do squats, and then for hamstring, just do Romanian deadlifts, and I'm gonna do videos on that soon. But yeah, so anterior pelvic tilt, strengthen your core and glutes. I'd say the hamstrings are the least important factor in that scenario. So that's how you do that. So that is how you prevent that. And then when you're standing, for instance, just for the posture side of it, what you want to do is, because you're still like this, you want to basically just like add a little bit of a bend to your knees, and then just not thrust forward, but just like engage your glutes a little bit. So like don't tense them, but like engage them. And then that, and you can tell that that curl has gone compared to this. So this is normal, and that's like, alright. And then basically, posterior pelvic tilt is the opposite of anterior pelvic tilt, where your pelvis is tilting like forwards, pretty much. So this can be caused from pretty much just a lack of activity in average daily life, and it's not serious. You might not have it. A way to fix it is just be more active. You don't necessarily have to do, you know, like high intensity interval training like twice a week or once a week. You don't even have to do it once. You can just literally like just walk, half an hour of walking per day. That's going to improve your posture as long as you're walking properly. Like, you don't have to try and do it quickly or make it look nice or something, I don't know. Just walk properly, and that's going to improve your posture. And that will probably also cure the supposed tilt, what you think you've got, anterior or posterior. You might not even have that. Most teenagers is just slouched shoulders and hunched back and neck. They just don't stand straight, basically. But then that can lead to develop these two issues. So this is basically like a video to help you prevent that, or if you do have it, to like slightly relieve that stress until it's gone, because it's not going to happen straight away. Alright, so for a posterior tilt, how you're going to be is, so if it was anterior, remember that like this. So in a posterior is when you basically sticking your bum out and you're like leaning, and it like makes your back straight, pretty much like this, like the lumbar spine is straight, but your bum's sticking out. You don't want that, so you're just pretty much leaning back and keeping your core engaged. So instead of going like that, just like that. So we've got an anterior, we've got correct, we've got posterior, and we've got correct. It's just like it's just the way the pelvis tilts, pretty much. So anterior, posterior, and correct. Another way that you can make it easier is to add a slab into your knees when you stood up. So you still stood straight. This is what I mean. Like, people wouldn't notice it. You still stood straight, but you're gonna add like the slightest possible bend to your knees, and that also takes off a little bit of an angle as well. So anyway, that is the end of this video. So this is a video on posture. We've talked about anterior pelvic tilt, its cause and its fix. We've talked about posterior pelvic tilt, its cause and its fix. And then how to appear more confident by literally just like lift, like, so you start straight, right, and then your shoulders are hunched. So what you want to do is you want to lift them up, and you want to push them back, and push them down. And that's how you want to be. And how to imagine that you're correct. Like, how would you know that how would you know you've got the right form for standing right with posture? What you want to do is imagine like you've got a ruler, and you want to imagine that your shoulder, your elbow, and your knee is all in line, pretty much. But also that you don't feel any stress on your back from anterior or pelvic tilts or anything like that. But you probably notice just from how it feels, and it's probably going to feel uncomfortable when you first start, because your body's more used to doing it wrong. But if you just keep doing it, then it's gonna be right, and it's gonna feel more comfortable. You're gonna appear more confident. It's just gonna make even like just social things such as an interview easier, because you look like you appear more engaged. It's just gonna help. It's gonna help you, and you're gonna feel better as well. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.